said that there are things I know that I've been told, and I've made an effort to not say them, and I won't, right? Because there are things that haven't been said in this interview by any of us that go way beyond anything that have been
100%.
Because the goal is not to drag anybody, it's not to humiliate anybody. That's not the point here.
Right.
There's no pettiness in this. This is about you telling your side of the story, and hopefully creating a space for healing.
Yeah.
That's
That is
all I
what
want to
we
do.
want.
It's the only reason why I'm here.
Yep.
How do you heal? How can you heal from this?
More conversations like this.
Yeah.
But with a level of openness and understanding and compassion.
Houston, we have a frickin' problem. And before I dive into some exclusive info I just got, I need to start with an apology. Early in my career, I used to apologize for small mistakes, like mispronouncing someone's name, and I overdid it. The community even told me to stop. But this time, I need to apologize. When Anton and Marc Lamont Hill first started, I leaked some messages. Anton's was fine because it was just a message I sent on Instagram and we didn't have a relationship. But I also leaked Marc's message, and y'all called me out immediately. I didn't think much of it then, but after talking to Marc this morning, I realized we actually do have a relationship, and I need to treat it as such. So Marc, I apologize publicly. No more leaking messages, I promise. Now here's the tea. Yesterday, I made a Patreon video talking about Marc, Imani, and their movement on Patreon, why I thought it could be detrimental to their channel. Marc hit me up with some exclusive info explaining his strategy. And as we were talking, I checked his YouTube views. 222,000 views in 2 days for a 1 hour, 40-minute interview. I said, Marc, this video just made your whole month. And that's when he told me about his plan and his future moves. I can't give all the details, but I can speculate on what's coming. The beef between Brian McKnight and Marc Lamont Hill, yeah, it's far from over. This is about to get even bigger. It's actually making me rethink how I produce content. I've been given moral high ground on a lot of things, but this play, genius. Brian McKnight is gonna have to respond, and the response could happen on Anton's platform, or even better, Marc's platform. If it's on Marc's platform, he's gonna dismantle Brian frame by frame. You have to watch Marc's interview with Brian's ex-wife and son. It wasn't messy or nasty, it was structured, but the way Marc set it up, brilliant. The tension is there without being over the top, and it's about to get real when Brian responds. Marc did the same thing, putting the Brian McKnight interview on his Patreon and then blasting on YouTube. The results speak for themselves. Marc hit 250,000 views in just 2 days, while Anton's video with Brian has been sitting at around 190,000 views over 2 weeks. That's a huge difference, and it's definitely a hit to Anton, who thought he was playing the same game. While we were talking, I even pitched Marc another idea, something big that's about to shake things up. And trust me, when that drops, it's gonna be wild. Marc Lamont Hill is positioning himself so he won't have to go on anyone else's podcast ever again. He's creating his own lane, and unfortunately, Brian McKnight is walking right into the setup. Here's the thing, Marc has been taking subtle shots at nearly everyone on the Joe Budden podcast, and he's clever. He fires below the belt, then backdoors it by saying, I was just joking, or we can talk about it if you want. That kind of strategic move keeps him untouchable, while slowly turning the tables on the others. Meanwhile, the tension on set is crazy. Joe's pissed, people are walking on eggshells, and some might even get demoted or let go. But Marc, he's setting himself up perfectly. By the time Joe realizes what's happening, it's too late. Marc is building a platform where he controls the narrative, and Brian McKnight, he's just the beginning. This is why Marc Lamont Hill is someone you need to watch closely. He's not just producing content, he's shaping the game. And every move, every interview, every post is calculated. If you haven't already, sub to his page and pay attention, because the next chapter is about to blow up. What this really tells me is that Marc Lamont Hill is about to dominate content creation, and we're not even focused on the connections he already has in the industry. Joe, I know you watched this. The last time you brought my name up, you mentioned feeling like Marc was trying to take over your show. But here's the thing, it's bigger than that. He isn't trying to take over the Joe Budden podcast. He doesn't care about the JPP at all. What he's doing is learning, absorbing, and applying everything behind the scenes to grow his own platform. And no, this isn't hate. But Joe, you can't keep building everyone up, call it your creation, and then be surprised when people use that knowledge to level themselves up. There's too much money, too many opportunities, and too many people willing to play the game hard. If you're not willing to pull the same moves, someone else will. And Marc is showing us exactly how it's done. Now think about it. Why hasn't Ian and Marc's show come back? Podwise hasn't returned either. And while I get that Ian just had a baby, the delay is telling. Everything Marc is doing right now is strategic. He's learning the ropes, taking notes, and preparing to make a major impact. So anticipate the Brian McKnight and Marc Lamont Hill sit down. This could easily become one of the biggest topics in entertainment news, especially given that Marc interviewed Brian's ex-wife and son, people he no longer speaks to. You better believe the moves he makes next will be calculated and explosive. Drop your thoughts in the comments. How do you think Marc will play this? How will Joe react? Like the video if you're hyped for what's coming, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. For those who are already part of the channel, you know how we rock. We're keeping this story moving, and the next chapter is gonna be huge. Peace.